And yes, we are live. Good evening, good morning, good day, everyone. I hope we're having a good day. Welcome to our Career Catalyst Week, Day 3. So I just want to check that audio is good. Yeah, it's it has been a beautiful series, and I'm sure a lot of us have truly benefited. Thank you all for all of the feedback. Everyone deeply, deeply appreciate all those that are doing their homework. Everyone doing all that you know is required. I appreciate that. So please just hold on a sec. I just want to be sure that the audio just checking that the audio is good. Is the audio good? Okay, audio is good. All right, this is so much better. Um, yeah, audio is good. Audio is good. Audio is good. Just give me a second. I just need to, put all the things where everything needs to be, just to be sure that we can catch any audio issue quickly, because we have in the past experienced a bit of. Okay, great. Audio is good here. All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you again for your patience. Means a lot to us as you bear with us as we start. Where everything needs to be. Aha, great, 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 great. Okay, okay. Whew. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's go. So we'll just jump right in. So today we will be speaking about application mastery. Thank you everybody again for joining, for all those that are joining in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's kick off. We have so much to cover, so I'll try to hurry so that we can get cracking. Okay, so we are officially midway. Today is day 3 to this beautiful journey on our career transformation. You, I'm sure right now when you see a job ad, you deeply understand what's going on. If you've been following everything that we'll be sharing, I'm sure now you have an understanding of the job market. You understand your market intelligence. Last year, I worked on a brilliant with a brilliant project manager, and I choose to share this story because of what we're talking about today. She had sent about over 200 applications and she got only 2 responses. And, it was because she's brilliant, right? So I was in my mind, I was like, why did she just get 2 responses? Because she was just speaking to me, we are having a conversation. So I said, send me your CV. And then she sent the CV to me. And then we rewrote the CV using some of the methods that I'm going to share here. I know a lot of Isaac Works members. You guys have reached out to me. Do you draft CVs? And I've told you that I don't do the draft CVs. And the reason is there's so much. CVs are very interesting to do. I usually say that people should design their CVs themselves so that you really know what you're saying. When you go for the interview, you can defend what it is that you have said that you do, right? So please, if the network is a bit blurry, just pardon us, just pardon the network. As far as you can hear the audio, please make do with the audio and let's just keep going. All right, so we wrote her CV using a certain framework I'm going to share today. And what I want you to do is, as you're listening to this session, open your CV. The CV you send the most, open it up, look at it, open again. I say when I'm having these sessions, it's important that we have journals. Have a journal that you can jot. You are looking at your CV. If your CV is on your phone or on your laptop, open it side by side with this YouTube video. Get your journal. As I'm sharing, start to make notes, because this note, what it will do for you is when you now go back to draft your CV, You know where the notes you made, and you can easily make corrections. You can tweak things based on what you want. Because when I worked with this project manager, we redrafted her CV. Within 3 weeks, she got 3 interviews. Sorry, not 3 weeks, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks or so. She got about 3 interviews, right? Not just responses. And that landed her a role, and she, of course, increased her income and all of the things. What was the difference? She stopped writing applications for herself. Don't write your application as if you are the one that's going to read it. Write your application for the people that are going to read it, for the organization that you are creating these CVs for. And let's go. I know a lot of us find writing applications daunting, and I see talented professionals, right? People with degrees, all kinds of qualifications, years and years of experience, sending out tons of CVs with no response. Maybe sometimes you even get the response you get are rejections, right? It's not because they are not qualified, right? It's not that they don't know. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's not that they are not qualified or they don't know the what it is that they're doing. The thing is they are playing they are playing with outdated rules. They do not understand the new rules that are involved in job applications. And I want you to catch this mindset shift. Your application is not competing against people. Most times, your application is not competing against most people. It's competing against three things: algorithms, attention spans, and biases. Yes. If you can win these three battles, you will stand out with your application. I can promise you that. So, what is the modern application ecosystem in 2025? As of today, September 24th, making this video. What is the modern application ecosystem like? Let's start by mapping out what happens when you click apply. So, for those that send emails, what happens? For those that forward it via WhatsApp, those that send it on the company career pages, all of the things, what is your application journey? What journey does your application go through? Stage one, most times, right? Your application goes through an application tracking system. ATS is usually that's what's usually called. These are software programs that company use to filter through thousands and thousands of applications. For example, when you hear big corporations like the Shells of this world, Chevron, MTN, Globalcom, all these large organizations that majority of the people want to work in, when you go on their website and you submit those applications, right? Most times it's an ATS that's responding because it's not just you. We're talking thousands and thousands of people. So it will not be advisable for a human to start and be looking through thousands and thousands of applications. So this ATS, that's this applicant tracking system, runs and filters through these thousands of applications. And there are four things it searches for: keywords that are in your description, that are in the job description. You know, for example, if the job description says data visualization for like a data analyst role, and your CV has nothing like data visualization, it will fling your CV out. Yeah, even though you're qualified. Formatting. Some people have turned their CV to like this art gallery where they want to show their expertise in design and all the things. So you are creating strange tables, graphics, and this can confuse the ATS. So most times when the ATS gets these kinds of CVs, it just tosses it out. Yeah. So don't over design. Notes, don't over design. Don't put pictures. Do not put pictures. Take all those things out. Don't put tables and stuff. Let CV be plain system to understand. Your education and experience is another thing that the ATS filters for, right? Your minimum degree, areas of years of experience, certifications, you know, and then contact contact info validation. So, for example, if you have emails that are not properly written, your LinkedIn link is not properly done, or the link to your portfolio is not properly linked, it will auto rejection. So, for example, if a job says proficiency in Python is required, and then you wrote in your own CV, instead of it to write proficiency in Python, you went to write programming experience. You leave it like that. The ATS will not know, and it will not connect the dots. What it would say is Python proficiency. Like the error it will be flagging on your CV is no Python proficiency. Meanwhile, you have Python proficiency. Here, the recruiters are busy. So after the ATS has done the first cleanup, your recruiter now goes through the CVs. And the CVs that recruiters go through will be between an average of 300 to 400. Ask any HR recruiter you know, or any admin officer that's currently going through CVs. What you then see is what they're scanning for when the recruiter is looking is one, your relevance. Does this person fit the role on paper? They are checking quick story. Does their experience show progression? Next is showing culture fit. Do they seem like they are a safe choice? Because again, people think hiring is great, but it's not the best place you want to be. A recruiter once told me, see, Timisa, I have looked at 300 CVs for one role. If I can't tell you what, if these CVs cannot tell me what they do in 7 seconds, girl, I will flip that CV away and just keep it moving. So imagine in 7 seconds, a recruiter is telling me that she has to see something that catches her eye, right? So please don't go and put on your CV finance professional with 8 years experience. Don't do that. Say something like driving $50 million again, and this is fictitious, it's not real, in cost savings across Africa and Europe. There's no way. Please make sure you've done it. Oh, don't lie, oh, because whenever you go for that interview, they will judge you based on the CV. The questions they'll ask you will be based on your CV. So please don't go and put. Now I'm using dollars, so yours could be like um 20 million naira in cost saving across Africa and Europe. That can be your own, and boom, you've got the attention of the recruiter, and then the recruiter knows where to place you because they know what they're looking for. Stage three of the of your CV's journey, right? Your application journey is the hiring manager evaluation. Here, this is where they are now patient to take time to look at your CV, right? So it's the CVs that go through the ATS, the HR recruiter, and then gets to the hiring manager. That's where they now take time to pay attention. They check one, if your skills match. Can this person solve my current problem? So when I say hiring managers evaluation, that is the department you are going to work in. They want to know, if they bring you on, will you solve the problem that they're dealing with? That is based on what is on your CV. When they employ you, the manager that you'll be reporting to is looking at your paper now to see, will this person do what I need? Can this person solve my problem? Will this person be a good team fit for my department? What are the growth potentials of this person? So for those of us that don't want to grow, you don't want to improve yourself, you don't want to add any qualification, it's that one certificate you have, you are okay with it. Your hiring manager checks those things. What are the potential for growth? Will they stay and grow, or will they leave in 1 year? They are checking those things, your track record. For example, if a company is trying to expand to East Africa, right, and you've led projects in Kenya and Tanzania, for example, oh, The hiring manager sees you as a solution, not just a candidate, because you are familiar with the terrain. You understand where they want to go to. So you are a better pick than someone that has experience in probably south of Africa, right? So let me now share something. Just think about Elon Musk, for example. He's hiring engineers for SpaceX, right? He's not just looking for people that are building people who build rockets in school. That's not what Elon Musk will be looking at, for example, because he's already building rockets, right? He's already building all the things. What he's checking for when he's looking at CVs will be, for example, who can solve this particular problem that I'm dealing with and at scale, because his company is quite big, right? He's going to be looking at how will this person be a positive addition. You see why yesterday when we were speaking about market intelligence, understanding the market, understanding those, reaching out to those that have worked in the organization to just have a glimpse of what it is you are doing, going into, right? So that you're not walking in blindly. Now, I want to share the psychology of each stage. The ATS psychology, right? That is cold, is algorithmic. That is just following the algorithm. What they've told you to look for is what it's looking for. What the ATS is looking for is keywords clarity. Any ambiguity, it's not interested in. What the ATS is afraid of is missing data or a messy CV design that people like to do. And so you see why I said your CV should not be appealing to you. Don't decorate your CV. That's not what's important. It is the content, what it is you've written. It should not be messy. The data you put on that CV should not be messy. It should be clean. Now, the recruiter has a psychology as well. As they're looking at your CV, there's a psychology in your recruiter's mind. First, they are busy because they have about 300 to 400 CVs to go through. So their time, they are risk averse. What they want is an easy yes. What they just look and say, okay, this is good enough. Keep it moving. Or they want to see, okay, this is not good enough. No, push it away. Their fear. This is something that people don't know. Recruiters have fears. We don't want to recommend the wrong person. Oh my God. Tell me, when I tell you that I know this, like I know the back of my hand, you don't want to say, this is the best candidate I found. And then when the candidates come on board, they are not actually the best because what they wrote on paper is not who they are. This is why you need to know your onions. You need to know what you say you do. Don't lie on your CV. I beg you. Because you will, there's this funny memes that have been going online on social media where those you say on your CV, you said something and then they tell you to do it and you are doing it literally because you do not understand the meaning. It was a joke and it sounded funny, but that's the reality of some people. They said they can speak multiple languages, Mandarin and French, and then they get the job. They tell them to speak Mandarin and French. They can't speak the job. They can't speak. Now, your hiring manager has a psychology as well. Your hiring manager is checking, can this person problem solve? Will this person deliver the results that I need? Their fear is that they don't want to bring someone that will disrupt a team that they have been building all this while. And then when they've see, please don't be quick to say, oh, this company have applied, they don't respond. Don't be quick to say that because and that's why I'm bringing this part to this class because it's important that we understand that these hiring managers, they are making a big decision because they have a team that's already working. And maybe someone resigned or someone lost their life, something happened and they have to replace that role. They don't want to bring somebody that will be the pain of the department from the day. They want to bring an addition that when people look back, they'll be like, we thank God that we hired this person. So most CVs are written for hiring managers. That's something we need to understand. But they never get to the hiring managers because the ATS would have thrown it out or the recruiter would have thrown it out. So you must design your CV for the journey, not just the hiring manager, the destination. Design your CV in a way that the ATS, it will pass it, the hiring recruiter will pass the CV, and then it will land on the hiring manager's table who will not have time to look through in depthly and then give you a call. So, do you see why some of us have been applying, right, and have not gotten any kind of feedback? Let me also share one story here. One of my colleagues, right, applied for a UNDP role. She was qualified, but her CV had creative formatting. She's a graphics, so she's an analyst with a hint of design. So she has a flair for design, right? So she was formatting her icons, putting two columns, making sure everything was a type of way, trying to fit everything in 2 pages, no, 3 pages. But guess what? It never passed the ATS. She wasn't getting any feedback. So what we now did was I told her, I said, okay. So I looked at the CV because of course she came, hey, Temisa, I've been applying, no feedback. So I said, okay, see, let's do something. Remove all the things you wrote, all the decorations. Can you just take it out? Just write your CV in just words and bullet points. And the only bullet point you should use is either a dot or a dash. That's it. Don't put any other thing. Make sure all of it fits within the pages. And she did it. And I also told her about using clear headers, use the right keywords, based on the job and everything. Guess what? That same CV passed stage one and got into it. She got her an interview. She didn't get the job, but she got an interview. Why? Because she removed those things that the ATS would always um, you know, flag. So the lesson here is do not try to impress the robots. Keep it simple. Now, the strategic application framework. This is a framework I coined, so I hope you enjoy it. So let's get practical. Now, I hope you have your journals and you write this. So this framework is called the Star Bridge Impact Method, where the star is the foundation. What is STAR? It's an acronym for situation, task, action, and results. So situation, the context of the achievement. Don't worry, I would explain. I'll give examples. You'll get it. Task, what needed to be done. Action, what you specifically did. Results, the measurable outcome. So your CV should follow this framework. You see why I said, so go to your CV, oh, go to your journal now, open it. The first place you worked, what was the context of an achievement you did in that organization? That's the situation under the Star Foundation, right? Remember, Star dash Bridge dash Impact method is what we are talking about. So Star Foundation, S the situation, the context of the achievement you did within the organization. T the task, what was needed to be done. A, what was the action, the specific thing you did, and then the result. That is how you craft it. Now, this is a good strategy, but it's incomplete. That's why it's called it has this bridge, because the star only tells about us about the past, right? What And we need to also connect with the future. That is, anyone reading your document should also see what you've done in the past and also see what you've done in the future, what you can do in the future. Now, the bridge, this explains the achievements, how this achievement you had in your former role connects with the role that you want to get into. Now, you'll be asking yourself, why do I need to put bridge? Like, why do they care about it? They care about it because of what? The impact. What is the impact? The project, your future value proposition. What will I do for you when you hire me? That is, when they hire you into the organization, what will you do? What is the thing that when they see you coming, they know that this is the person with the solution to the problem they're looking for? By the way, this was inspired by Joseph in the Bible. Joseph, who was in prison, and you know, Pharaoh had a dream and he solved the puzzle that Pharaoh had and preferred a solution. So shout out to Joseph. So now let's give an example so that you can articulate what it is that I'm sharing. So basic star, for example, you're a social media person. You managed social media accounts for 3 clients and you increased engagements by 200%. Now, what is the situation? You when you joined the organization, you inherited an underperforming social media Instagram account. Let's not say social media. You inherited an underperforming Instagram account for B2B tech clients with declining engagement. So maybe when you joined, there was no engagement, everything is zero, your followers were leaving, the account was still. That's the situation now using the Star Bridge Impact framework. What was the task that you were saddled with when you joined? You were to rebuild engagement and generate leads because it's a B2B tech client with declining engagement. That was the situation. Task is that you need to rebuild engagement and generate leads. What is the action that you are going to take to solve this task? That is, in the STAR method, the A is action. You created industry specific content, data driven schedules. Wait, industry specific content is what the people in that industry in B2B tech, what they are looking for using SEO content. You now use data driven schedules. You know when the people that are interested in B2B tech, that are B2B tech clients, you know when they come online, you know when they are active, you posted around that time. And then decision maker. The another action you did was you created decision maker campaigns. That is a campaign that when the B2B tech clients see, they take action. It's relevant to them. You didn't just go by the wind and say, "Oh, let's do this campaign because it's fun." No, it's fun, but it's targeted to the B2B tech clients. Results: your engagement grew by 200% and you generated 47 qualified leads worth 12 or 13 or 50 million naira. The bridge now. Remember, Star Bridge Impact Method. The bridge is this shows that you can create engagement strategies for this organization in their B2B market while keeping return on investment high. So what this says to the ATS when he first sees it is that this is the right person, it goes through. Recruiter sees it and says, yes, this person has created high-end strategies for B2B markets and kept return on investment high. Of course, recruiter is excited, so you get another yes. And then the impact on this role is that I will apply the same methods. You now say in your in from when they look at your job description, they can see that in if you come on there on that role, you will apply the same methods to help them achieve 40% growth target from their last investor report. Remember the market intelligence we talked about yesterday? You see how it comes to play. So you're not just going there and talking, I can design, I can do. It's not about this. They're not looking for designers. They're looking for people that can make things happen, revenue coming. That is what. So graphic guys, digital marketing guys, these are the strategies. Especially those that are, I'm not talking about those that are already seniors in the field. I'm talking about now for those fresh graduates that are just trying to get into the market and you're just saying, I can design websites, I can do flyers. It's not enough. So now this same example, I want to bring it for data analysts. The basic star is, remember basic star, star, please don't forget, Star Bridge Impact Method is what we are talking about. So please, for data analysts, your basic star is you're creating dashboards that improved reporting by 40%. That's the hook, right? But if we break it down according to this Star Bridge Impact Method, one, situation. My previous employer, so I'm taking the role of a data analyst now. My previous employer struggled with manual monthly reporting that delayed business decisions, right? The task that I was responsible for was improving visibility into sales. and operations KPI. The action that I, as a data analyst, now did is I built an automated Power BI dashboard, integrated SQL queries, and trained 15 team members to self-serve insights. What was the result of this thing I did? Reduced reporting time by 40% and uncovered patterns that led to a 250 million naira increase in quarterly revenue. The bridge. This directly aligns with the need for a data analyst who can turn raw data into actionable insights for growth and efficiency. There is no ATS system that will see what I've written that will throw my CV out when I write it this way. Neither will the recruiter throw it away, neither will the hiring manager throw it away. So the impact of what I've done now is that if they hire me, right? What I'm saying now is that if this company hire me as their data analyst, what will be the impact in this role? When I now go for the interview and I want to speak on the impact that I've done, I'll now say things like, in this role, I'll design real-time analytics that support your expansion into new markets. For example, maybe I've read their reports and they said they were trying to expand to Tokyo, for example. And I would say things like, I'll design real-time analytics that support your expansion into new markets and strengthen your decision-making speed as you move into the Tokyo market. Because I read in your last quarter reports that you were already making plans to move into Tokyo. If you were on the interview board where I sat down as an analyst, will you not hire me? So that's how we bring value. And that's what I'm trying to do. I have other examples, but I'm rushing for time, right? Please note how each role, the star explains the achievement. That's why I tagged it as star, because you're a star. That's how star do. You are a star. So that star explains what it is that you have achieved. The bridge answers the question, why should this employer hire you? And the impact projects what you would do when you are hired. So whenever you're drafting your CV, put this star bridge impact method by the side and, you know, juxtapose it with your um, CV and ensure that it is properly done. Now, let's talk about the different markets. My audience are people that need jobs within Africa, Nigeria, and outside of Nigeria. There's US, United Kingdom, there's North America, South America as well, even some parts of India, because we've been getting job. People want, job ads from India as well. So yeah, if you want to join us, please send me a DM and I'll send you the link to join our job board, Isaac Works job board. So now let's go to currency specific applications, because the job markets are not the same everywhere. So it's important that I explain how the Nigerian slash African market, what the applications look like, and then the dollar, pound, euro markets, yen, and all the money, what their market looks like. So for the Nigerian market, emphasis are on relationships, adaptability, and local context. People want to know that you are you understand the local um, context. People want to see that you show resource optimization. You know how we spoke, I think it was in day one, where we are talking about how you can't go and be saying you want a certain amount for a role when you're dealing with a low income, below the line income payers, right? You go and work with an SME and you tell them to pay you a global firm's money. They cannot do it. So they want to, in the Nigerian market, people want to see that you can save cost. You are doing more with less. Again, it's not just in Nigerian market, but it's one of the things. CEOs, founders, they want to cut costs. Companies want to cut costs. So if you can cut costs, you'll be their favorite. And then the thing is, people want to just see how you negotiate discounts. So when you're coming on board, you have to be coming with an extra, you know. So for the dollar market, dollar market, like jobs that are outside Nigeria, most of the things that they are looking out for is metrics. It's mostly metrics, scalability, certifications, right? Because it's the certifications that prove that what it is you say you will do. So I would advise you, if you're trying to apply for remote jobs that are international, you have to get qualifications that they would recognize. So you did a training, data, whatever training you did, it should be in an internationally acclaimed institution so that they can understand your qualification, right? Even though the place you got trained within your local community or your nation is, let it have some kind of credibility, because those things matter. In Nigeria, one of the professionals in my circle, right, secured the senior procurement role not by listing certification, but just showing that they saved. I think it was about 20 million naira or so, and that was what did it for him. So the local markets, the storytelling, dollar markets might, just put your storytelling well, right? So like for example now in the UK, they are very particular about this Lean Six Sigma certification. So it's important that when you are putting those kinds of things, don't just say Lean Six Sigma certification and stop there. Write things like you saved 5.10, I'm sorry, not 10, 5.2 million 5.2 million pounds annually through optimization using Lean Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma, something like that. I'm not a product manager. That's it. So I don't know the lingo, but you get the point. Those are the languages that recruiters in the UK love. So understand the terrain. Your CV in Nigeria cannot always work when you apply for remote jobs. You have to tailor your CV to suit the industry. All right. So now, because again, my audience consists of both fresh graduates, mid-career, and senior professionals. It's important that I break down whatever I'm teaching to different levels so that it's valuable to everyone that listens, right? So for fresh graduates, right, that you remember the star bridge impact method we spoke about. So don't listen to this and say, okay, I hear you, but I don't have the qualification. So this star bridge method will not work for me. No, I'm going to show you how the star bridge method will work for you. You ready? Let's go. So star here will be your school projects, your internships, which is why I would advise you don't play with internships, even if you're in university. Don't play with internships. Don't use your holiday to just play around. Don't play with internships, please. Very important. Your internship projects, your school projects. The bridge will be your learning agility. What did you learn in these internships? How did you apply what you learned when you go back to school? Those are the ways that you can get an edge. Impact. What is your growth potential? How have you grown? Those are the kinds of things you should speak about. For example, now let me give an example. I led a student-led innovation project that attracted 500 participants because this shows initiative, right? So you see these kinds of things. So don't look down on anything you have done in university and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter." No, no, no. Don't do that to yourself. Don't look down on anything you've done. Everything you've done is valuable. For those in the mid-career, operational improvements, you did your style will be operational improvement. You improved operations. You did cross-functional projects. You worked with procurement and IT, developed this fantastic operations channel for payments. You know what I'm talking about. Then the bridge will be transferable expertise. What are the transferable skills you did? You trained people, those kinds of things. You got them used to a new software, those kind of things. The impact will be immediate, right? For mid career. While for senior level, star will be, of course, trial leadership, organizational transformation, and then the bridge will be industry leadership. So because of what the senior professionals did, the strategy or the organizational transformation, maybe it got to the news, and then there's now industry leadership, and then the impact will not be execution of vision. They now get this award, and all of the things. And when I say award, I don't mean just internal award, like global recognition for the work that they did within the organization. Those things, people check it. So senior levels, don't think that, oh, nobody sees. People see. There are people that monitor those things. They check, right? So I want to share some advanced application tactics that you can apply. Um, that is, how can you use research personalization? For example, when you want to apply for a job, and I think this is more high level, sort of. Well, you can still use it for entry levels. It depends on how diligent the applicant is. And the applicant here will be you listening or watching, needing this information. So identify the company's challenge. You remember what we spoke about market intelligence? Check recent news, market struggles, what are their growth plans? Match your skills to their challenges. That's another way your CV can stand out, or your cover letter can stand out. Remember, because some jobs they want you to have cover letters. So match your skills to that challenge. Use their own words in your CV or cover letter. Resist the urge to be too overly creative. Use what they've shared, use that to tailor your CV. Customize value proposition, show your specific contributions. So, for example, instead of saying things like, I'm a project manager with 5 years experience, try to say things like, having followed Flutter Waves expansion. Now, this is for your cover letter, not your CV, which is why I always tell people, even if they don't ask for cover letter, sometimes that extra, that going over and beyond to get the cover letter added to your CV is can make you just stand out. It will take you out of those things. So you can write something like, having followed Flutterway's expansion into, for example, into Africa, into the new African market. I'm excited to apply my 5 years of cross-border project management to support your goal of reaching 1 billion Africans by 2030. I recently scaled operations in 6 West African countries, which directly aligns with the challenges you mentioned in your TechCrunch interview. If you were a recruiter and someone wrote this in their cover letter, tell me, if you that's applying, you're a recruiter, will you not take the person? So do you now see why nobody is responding to your to your job? Do you now see that it's not your recruit, it's not the HR's fault, it's not the recruiter's fault, it's not the company's fault? And I know they have their faults, so I'm just trying to highlight some of these things. Now, let's move to the next one. Don't just apply. Please, guys, do not just apply. Surround the opportunity. Build walls around this your application. For example, connect on LinkedIn with personalized message, especially if you can find the recruiter. If you know the recruiter's name or something, you can find them, find the recruiter, send a personalized message, comment on their post with a thoughtful insight. Don't just go and say, congratulations, very interesting, intriguing read. No. Read the post, come up with a conclusion and post, or come up with something you've learned, a thoughtful insight, and share. And then submit your application so that when they see your application, right, they recognize who it is and then follow up with value. I didn't say the title of what I just shared. They are the 4 steps. These are my multi touch strategies. It is another way that you can bamboozle the hiring manager, just like make their life easier. I said it now, but I'm sure some of you were not paying attention. So let me say it again. Before you apply, be strategic. Once you know that HR, the recruiter, connect with them on LinkedIn. Send a personalized message. Comment on the post so that they already know that that name is already ringing a bell. And then you submit your application. So they see your friend request, they see your communication. Now you sent in your job, your name already rings a bell. So when they are going through that, their psychology, they are not afraid. They're like, okay, I know this face, I know this name. They are not just trusting you around. And then when you submitted your application, don't just sit down there. Offer something of value. Read something that aligns with what you think a HR in that space or a hiring manager in that space will be dealing with. Send them an email or a LinkedIn DM. or something with value, with an article, with something you have observed, or a resource you have found that you think would be useful, send it to them to their emails or their DMs. This way, you are a familiar name before they even read your CV. In a world where generic applications, everybody's just applying, some people will say, "Hey, have you seen my CV?" I'm like, you guys. Some people, I remember one time I was getting CVs for an organization. Someone just sent me a DM and said, I've applied. Though. Have you seen my CV? I laughed. I said, don't worry, I've seen your CV. Because it's absolutely funny when you hear people, the way people, do follow ups. It's so funny. They send you an email, please, I sent my CV yesterday. Did you see it? I'm like, bro, is that how? Oh, God. So, when you now apply to something like that, follow that usually those managers, right? They've done interviews somewhere, podcast somewhere. Just connect. Hmm? All right. So I think we'll just keep going. So someone I want to share one funny story. If you've Before I share the story, I just want to say something. If you've had just in the chat box, share with me what's your biggest struggle. Is it have you do you think so? Usually, when you've been called for an interview, you have bypassed the ATS, the recruiters, and the hiring manager. So many people that don't even get past even a first interview, usually the ATS has probably thrown them out. So in the chat box, just tell me which has been your biggest struggle. Is it the ATS, recruiters, or the hiring managers? Let me know. Because hiring managers will be maybe you've done your interview, you have gotten to a place where they did not call you. That would be where the hiring manager will be, So yeah. I hope that you guys have found this session useful. I think I have one more thing to share, which is um I really want us to have learned, you know, these things that I've said because when you really apply this, it's not just telling somebody to give you a job. It's not just saying, hey, I need a job, help me. It's not just that. You need to navigate the three stages of the application that we shared before, which is the ATS, the recruiter, and the hiring manager. You need to be able to apply the Starbridge Impact Framework. You need to be able to customize your CV across currencies and career levels. Use the lingo that applies to the different sectors, right? Don't take your Nigerian tailored CV and use it to apply for a remote opportunity. And you remember, remote, there are different countries. Understand the way the UK CVs are tailored, the lingo. There are so many drafts online. Put in the work. You want to earn that big money, you have to do the work. You don't wish it. When you finish praying, you do the work. Use the advanced personalization tactics that I shared. That is, that I said you send LinkedIn, you do all the things that I said. Do you remember what I said? Where I said connect to LinkedIn, send a personalized message, comment on their post, submit the application, follow up with a value, share an article or something. These things will make you stand out. So, as usual, there's homework again. I'm not just gonna teach you and then you tell me, yeah, I know what. Yes, I got it. No, 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 no. You're gonna do the homework. You're going to do the work. You're going to put yourself out there. You're going to put your best foot forward. And I'm going to drop the homework in the chat. And what is this homework? Pick one job posting and rewrite your application using this method and send. For those of us in the Isaac Works community, send send your old CV and then send the new CV that you have used this framework to transform. Send it to the admins and they'll reply. So I hope we've had a good time. Tomorrow we'll tackle interview excellence, virtual interview mastery, salary negotiations across currencies, and cross cultural communication. Please don't forget that applications get you noticed, interview gets you hired. I look forward to seeing us tomorrow, right? And yeah, tomorrow is going to be a good day for our next class. I just want to quickly post the homework so that nobody forgets what you're supposed to do. Oh my god, I can't post it. I think I'll just drop it in the comment section when the video is done. I think I'll just do that. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. And I hope that this has been useful to you. Please don't forget to share, subscribe to the channel if this was useful to you. Please, this is a way to say thank you, and it encourages me to keep churning out videos like this. I deeply appreciate your time. Thank you for listening and have a fantastic day.